Hey guys, I'm Hellhound, and tonight I want to talk about Motel Hell. Now, I've owned this movie for years as this double feature DVD with Deranged. Also a pretty good movie, very pretty accurate biopic in a lot of ways of real life serial killer Ed Gein. It's actually loosely based on the story of Ed Gein. The guy's name's Ezra Cobb. You know, they don't directly say he's Ed Gein, but he essentially is very similar. Yeah, there were movies made about Ed Gein, but I think this one's still pretty accurate. You know, it's very close. Probably of all the movies based on Ed Gein that aren't outright saying that's Ed Gein, that's probably like the closest one. Yeah, it's a double feature disc. You know, and, side A and side B. So yeah, Motel. So, but recently I decided to go and upgrade to Blu-ray, rightfully so, because this is a way better release than that double feature DVD. Sorry to say. So yeah, made the leap to Blu-ray. It's Scream Factory. God, I love Scream Factory because they have such awesome brand new covers, brand new artwork for the movie, but if you're partial to the VHS cover, they have that right behind it. You can just take the VHS cover and slide it in the case if you want. You can go with the VHS cover. They do this with most of their releases. My Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 Scream Factory Blu-ray is the same, and most of the ones that most of their releases are like this, which is really cool. You can choose, you know, between the two. And I always thought that, like, a lot of my favorite horror movies, the DVD artwork was crap, and I was really annoyed for years about that. I'm like a really hardcore elitist collector, so I'm sure this doesn't bother most people. They just want to own the movie. They don't care about the artwork. But for me, I miss the VHS artwork, and Scream Factory comes up with artwork that's either even better than the artwork than the original VHS artwork, and way better than the DVD artwork usually. And they include the actual VHS artwork too, so you can choose between, which is freaking awesome. So anyway, back on track. Motel Hell from 1980, directed by Kevin Connor. A very delightful horror comedy about a cannibalistic pair of deranged siblings who own a motel. Farmer Vincent Smith, played by Rory Calhoun, and his younger sister Ida, played by Nancy Parsons, who you might recognize as the gym teacher, Ballbreaker from Porky's. They capture travelers. You know, they lure them to their hotel and stuff, and make them cause accidents, make them wreck and stuff, and they turn them into smoked meat. Yeah, their meat is famous too, by the way, in the town. Everybody loves Farmer Vincent's meat. They say it takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters, and meat's meat a man's gotta eat. All kinds of funny lines like that. And so they bury these victims up to their necks in the dirt in like a kind of a makeshift garden, you could call it. And they slit their vocal cords, do something to their throat, and they're like, you know, their garden, and they're like, ah. It sounds really disturbing, but it's actually like it's done so like. It's very silly the way it's done, so it's not really all that scary or anything. It's just kind of more funny than scary, but I guess you could say it's a little shocking, a little twisted that they have, you know, all these people buried. You see like a garden full of heads, you know, there's even like a rock band that they lure and trap and, you know, kidnap and put in their garden and make them into meat. You know, they're cannibals, and everybody loves their meat. Everybody says it's like the best tasting fritters and stuff, sausages and stuff that they've ever had. But anyway, yeah, a motorcycle, a couple riding a motorcycle is also trapped by the siblings and kidnapped, and the man, Bo, he's placed in the garden, and the woman, Terry, is cared for by Vincent and Ida. And they kind of, and Vincent kind of develops a crush on her. He has her work around the farm that he owns and work around the motel and stuff. And he kind of becomes akin to her. She kind of falls for him too. They develop a romantic relationship. So that was kind of interesting. It's a little different, you know. The villain and I guess you could say the lead heroine kind of have a relationship. Also, Vincent and Ida's younger brother, Bruce Smith, who's the sheriff. He's the town sheriff. He doesn't know what his sinister siblings have been up to all these years by, you know, killing people and making them and eating them and selling them to... The whole town's been eating this meat. They've been eating human flesh for all these years without even knowing it. But pretty soon, Sheriff Bruce finally starts becoming suspicious of his older siblings, and he kind of catches on to what they've been doing, all the deadly deeds, their dastardly plot. And so, yeah, he's played by Paul Link, and Terry's played by Nina Axelrod. She's not really a very good actress, and she wasn't very believable in this movie, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't detract from the movie at all. It's still very charming and very campy and very fun. yeah, Rory Calhoun hams it up nicely. He's just really fun. Very very campy and engaging performance. I feel like he took kind of a despicable villain and kind of made him likable. He was really friendly the way he was, and so it's really weird thinking that he's does all these terrible things. And Ida's really funny as well. And his overweight, homely sister. Little cannibalistic team. So yeah, pretty interesting, pretty fun premise. Very similar to like movies like Parents. And it's actually supposed to be like a satire, kind of a parody of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, Last House on the Left, movies like that. It features a cameo by Wolfman Jack as a preacher, and it also features clips from The Monster That Challenged the World, an old sci-fi movie that had like killer sea snails. It's shown at a drive-in. Bruce takes Terry to a drive-in. That's another conflict. Bruce kind of wants to woo Terry himself and take her away from Vincent, but she's developing, an attraction to Vincent, who's much older, and Bruce wants her for himself. That kind of starts the rift between the two brothers, and that's how Bruce eventually finds out what his older brother's been up to, all these wicked crimes against humanity and eating humans and stuff, eating people. There's also a highly amusing finale. It's very action-packed. It's a chainsaw duel. Farmer Vincent wears the head of a pig as a grotesque mask and wields a chainsaw and fights his younger brother Bruce. And it's an awesome chainsaw fight right up there with the one in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Phantasm 2. And it's just really awesome. I feel like those two movies owe a lot to Motel Hell, especially Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I think Tobe Hooper might have been inspired by this, which is funny because this in turn was inspired by the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The director also did... The House Where Evil Dwells, and as far as I know, that's the only other horror movie that Kevin Conner ever directed, at least in the 80s. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, a very slick and clever sense of humor, great atmosphere, and an awesome country scenery. Yeah, it's got like a backwoods setting. I'd love to visit this motel. I'd love to visit this farm. I'd love to explore those backwoods and those back roads. I live in the country myself. I live in a kind of a small hick town in the southern town in the middle of the country. So, it kind of is technically the suburbs too. We're not that far from the city, but it's considered a hick town. The mountains, I grew up in the mountains and the woods and the river and stuff. And the scenery here kind of reminds me of the town I'm in actually, which is cool. A lot of farmland and stuff. So yeah, I can kind of relate to. It's kind of exciting, kind of cool seeing a horror movie take place in a setting that's very similar to where I'm from. What else can I add? Yeah, this movie's very fun. It's very funny. Has a great sense of humor. It's not as gory as you'd expect. There is some bloody scenes, but like there's some there's definitely a lot of shots of like cut up bodies and stuff being made into meat, and stuff. But I think it's more funny than scary, and gory as well. And it was it was 1980, so it wasn't really pretty tame by today's standards. But yeah, I think it's a stupid movie. Of course, it's kind of so bad it's good. But I think it knows exactly what it wants to be, and it delivers. It's proud of what it is, and it doesn't hide. It isn't ashamed. It doesn't hide what it's trying to do. Just be like a straightforward spoof of more serious horror films. I love demented families, especially in their backwoods cannibals. I think that's just always a good premise, It's pretty cool if they have the younger brother is like the hero. He's the sheriff, and he's the one trying to save Terry from the clutches of his evil older siblings, and again, the fight at the end, a spectacular finale, great atmosphere, great humor, great, what little there is, great gore. It could have been a little gorier, but again, this was like the early 80s. I guess I don't know. I don't think they really got gorier until a little later. It's not really an exploitation style film. It's just a really fun, straight up horror comedy that knows exactly what it wants to be. It's a good way to kill, a good hour and 40 minutes. Very dark sense of humor. It's very likely to be your cup of meat, hopefully. Great country setting, great, and the acting from Rory Calhoun and Nancy Parsons is really good. They're really funny and really likable. They're very and they're so exciting. They're so delightfully over the top and excitable, and that it's kind of infectious. You watch this movie, you're just kind of like it kind of rubs off on you. It's definitely a good time. It's definitely a very good time. I suggest you see it. I recommend it. I know some of my viewers have mentioned in the comments of my videos that they didn't like this movie, but some do. A lot of people requested this. A lot of people said I should review this, and I feel like the time is right. I'm glad I finally got this. Decided to review this movie. I was waiting to get a superior release of it because, again, this one's like definitely not really good enough. Not really up to par. Doesn't meet my standards as a collector. But anyway, yeah. If you like this movie, definitely check out this release. It's got some good bonus features, some commentaries, some interviews, some no deleted scenes. Unfortunately, it's got the trailer. It's got a look back. Some like documentary type things. And, some still galleries and stuff. So, it's definitely, Scream Factory always goes all out with their releases. They always do a great job, and this is no exception. They would do a very commendable, highly admirable job on their Blu-rays, and it's definitely one to add to the collection, so go ahead and do that if you haven't already. So, yeah, Motel Hell from 1980. Directed by Kevin Connor, sorry. Not O'Connor, just Connor. And starring Rory Calhoun. I think that about covers it. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching my show. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all the good times. Thank you for all the discussions in the comments. Let's continue to talk about great horror films like this one. And until next time, maybe I'll review Children of the Corn next. Only time will tell. Hey guys, I'm Hellhound. See you later.